In this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way when the world starts to unfold.
Hey guys, it's Sunday afternoon and my house is quiet. My husband went to Lowe's, my son's working, the dog is outside. So this is a perfect time for me to make some content. As you see, I'm sitting in this beautiful egg chair. My sister came by. I like to say she bedazzled it. She put some flowers on it, some lights, and I love it. It's actually really big. It's humongous, and I love it. And I thank you so much for doing that for me, sister. So this is Mending Mahogany. Thanks for tuning into my channel. I hope you guys are having a lovely day. And yeah, I just wanted to have some coffee and chit chat with you guys. I wanted to share, you guys, if you watch my content or you're new to my content, you know I talk with my hands. I don't know why. Maybe it's a New York thing. I don't know. But I talk with my hands. I can't help it. It's just the way that I am. So I'd be like, Steph, stop moving your hands around. I will work on it, but part of that is who I am. So do I work on it or do I just be who I am? I talk with my hands. Anyway, so at the end of 2024, I have some coffee. Oh my God. Coffee is one of my favorite things. When the weather starts to get warm, like it is here, I love iced coffee, but I'm like weird. When I was working, I would start off my day with iced coffee, but it seemed like it threw off my day if I started with iced coffee. So I always like to start the day off with a cup of coffee. It's kind of late for coffee, but I don't drink coffee when I go to church. So I just got home from church. So I like to come home and unwind with a nice cup of coffee. And look at this beautiful cup. I am a mug connoisseur. I have more mugs than 100 people can drink out of. But I just like one day I might feel like drinking out of this mug. The next day I might feel like drinking out of a Hello Kitty mug, a mug that has plants on it. I don't know. It drives my husband crazy, but I'm a mug gal. So forgive me if you see me leaning down. It's just I'm putting my coffee down. So at the end of 2024, I had a goal that I wanted to meet for 2025. I wanted to become a certified life coach. And with me relocating to North Carolina, July will be 1 year that I've been here. I cannot believe it's almost a year that I moved to North Carolina. But when I moved in July, like I said, I got here July, and with moving into the apartment and, just everything that goes on. A move is already crazy, but when you move from one state to another, and then you have to move again because our house was still under construction. So it was like we moved from New York, we lived in an apartment for 6 months, then we moved from the apartment and we moved into our house. So the last couple of months has been crazy. But like I said, I had a goal that I had set for myself at the end of 2024. I was saying 2025, I want to become a certified life coach. And, the new year came, so you have the holidays. We just moved into our house. People are coming to visit, and just everything that comes along with moving into a new home. My goal kind of got away from me. And I'm like, okay, what happened to my goal? So I buckled down and I said, I want to complete this goal. I want to complete this goal. So I have completed my goal. I am now a certified life coach. I don't have any clients or anything like that. I don't really know what I want to do with this, but I know it was something that I wanted to do. And a few people that inspired me were Pink Girl Teaches and Narc Free Living. I adopted them as my mentors. My social media mentors, I adopted them as my mentors, but they just taught me so much. And I grew up thinking like you. Now listen, don't think I'm bashing the church. I'm not. But I always grew up thinking you could only glean wisdom from sitting inside of the four walls of a church. I don't know, like, but they taught me that you can minister outside of the four walls of church. And I was in the mindset that I can only minister in the four walls of a church. Meanwhile, they're hours away from where I live, but they have ministered to me over the years. So they were, an inspiration, like, oh, I want to be a life coach. Not to say that I wanted to do what they were doing, but I know that was something that I wanted to do. And some of the ladies in the CBU family, they became life coaches. So it wasn't like, it was not an attainable goal, but it kind of felt like, I really can't do that. But I did it. I completed. I got my certification. So I wanted you guys to know that, because I'm proud that I've done it, and I'm celebrating myself. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating yourself. Celebrate yourself, because sometimes people won't celebrate you. So you got to learn to celebrate yourself. So that was one of the goals that I set for 2025 that I completed. And I'm happy about it. So yesterday was a beautiful day, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. We were out on the boat yesterday. My husband retired. January was 1 year that he retired. And at the end of this month, it'll be 1 year that I retired. So, when you move to another state and you're retired, like, you got like all this time on your hands. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? So, we were at the park one day just sitting, and he seen a boat go by, and he was like, wow, that looks so peaceful. That looks so relaxing. Wow. And he was just kept talking about the boat. And I'm like, oh, well, it's a boat show this weekend at the convention center. He was like, there is? I'm like, yeah, you want to go? He was like, yeah, it was like $5. So we went to the convention center to this boat show that we had never really had an interest in a boat, because it was just something that we were not thinking, like, a boat, why? So we went to the boat show, and we were looking at all these beautiful boats, and, we came away, and he was like, what do you think about us buying a boat? Now, you know me, I'm like, boat? What do we need a boat for? But he was like, why not? Why can't we have a boat? He was like, people buy RVs, people buy new cars, but why is buying a boat so far out to you? And I had to think about that. Like, because I really don't see Black folks on boats. I just don't. I mean, not that I haven't, but I think I Googled it, like 1% of African American people have boats. So it's not that we don't enjoy boats, but do you know anybody who has a boat? I mean, my husband's brother had boats, he had one or two boats, so my husband, he had that experience with being on a boat. Me, the only boat I ever been on was like a cruise ship. So, I didn't have that experience. So we came away from the boat show like, maybe pondering that we would get a boat. And we actively started looking, and guys, we purchased a boat last month. And yesterday we went out on the water. We had to have our I call it a boat orientation. Basically, they get you on the boat, they get you familiar with your particular boat, they take you out, they just, it's kind of like a crash course in boating. And so we did that yesterday with the company that we purchased the boat from. He stayed out on the water with us for like an hour and a half, and then he was like, okay, you guys are all set. You can bring me back to the dock. And I'm like, oh my God, you're leaving me on this boat with this man? But, it was so beautiful. And I always love water. Like, when I lived in New York, I lived right next to the beach, 5 lights from the beach. I would take my chair, my Bible, coffee, and just sit on the beach for hours. Now, my husband would go with me sometimes, but he'd be ready to go like after 30 minutes. Like, you ready? I'm like, you're killing the vibe. Either you bring your own car or you stay home, because I like to stay at the beach for hours. So I always love sitting on the beach, looking at the water, looking at the clouds, because it just shows you like the magnificence of God. Like you're looking at all this water, you're looking at all of these clouds, and you're like, the one who created this created me. So it kind of makes you feel small and makes you see how big God is. So we had a beautiful time on the boat. It was just so peaceful. We came home like, and my husband's like, you always say we don't need something until we get it. I'm like, babe, I'm glad we got the boat. And yeah, it was just so peaceful. So I'm looking forward to this upcoming season. And living in North Carolina, the weather is just so beautiful. So the boating season is a lot longer than the boating season would be up north because of the weather. So you can boat out until late October. So where are we? We in April. We were on the water yesterday. It was 88 degrees. So we got many more times to enjoy the boat and being on it. It was just very peaceful. And what else did so today I got all these things I'm filling y'all in on. Today, me and my husband completed our new members class at our new church. Now, we've been going to this church for a while, but we never went to a church where they had like a new members class. It was just nothing that we were familiar with. But after going there for several months, we discussed it and we were like, okay, this is where we want to call home. Because, I've been raised, you don't be no church hopper. You get a church and you sit down and you stay. And that's just how I was raised. So I'm in my 50s. I've only been to 3 churches in my whole life. My family's church, because we built a church. Then we moved to another church. We stayed there for about 3-4 years. And my last church, we were there for, this month would have been 18 years if we were still there. But when we left, it was 17 years. So I'm not really like one of those people who just go to church to church to church. But I knew that when we came here, we would have to visit a few churches because you're not from the area. You don't really know. But when we went to this church, we were like, wow, we really like it. I don't know, it was just something about it that we liked. We liked the welcoming. We liked how many young people were there. We liked just the worship. So we decided, okay, we're going to officially join. So we finished our new members class today. So we are officially members of our church. And that was important to me because I know, that you can love God and be a Christian and not belong to a particular church. Everybody has their own views on that. Me personally, I like to be in one church because, when you go to church, you meet people, you connect with people, your children, can get involved and, they have young people ministry, young adults ministry. And, I have a son who's 19 and, I would like him, he went to church growing up, but, he hasn't been to church in a while. So I want a church that has people that he can identify with. So just in case he wants to come to church, he won't feel so isolated. So we did that. I uploaded a new video that I don't normally do. What I'm learning is I'm new to YouTube. And if you're new to YouTube and you're a content creator, there is a workshop that is happening April 17th for content creators. It's Narc Free Living and her husband are doing it, Faith-Based Workplace, Narc Free Living. They are doing a creators conference virtually on Zoom on April 17th. Go to Eventbrite if you're interested. I'm taking that workshop because I'm new to YouTube. First of all, I'm not even really comfortable on camera. I got to get comfortable doing that. But also, I figured that I'm going to start expanding my content, like show you different areas of my life. Not that you're going to get all in the nitty gritty of my life because you're not. But just, do different content. So me, I'm a thrifter. I love thrifting. I don't care what nobody says. I've been thrifting for almost 30 years. I don't thrift because I'm broke. I don't thrift because I don't have the money to buy stuff in the store. I thrift because I enjoy it. I love it. It's a hobby that I've had and I enjoy it. My husband, on the other hand, my kids, but me, I don't mind it. You know, I feel like when I go thrifting and I find stuff, like it's a little treasure hunt. But I uploaded a video of some items that I thrifted, and I was like a little uncomfortable because I'm like, I don't, that's really not, but I'm broadening what my content is. Always gonna be God centered. Don't get it twisted. Jesus is at the center, but I'm a real woman. I have real life. I do real things. I have real issues. So I'm just broadening my content. So if you see my content changing, that's what I'm doing. So I think that about wraps it up. I'm making lamb chops for the first time. I feel a little pressure because, I thought my husband was going to cook them, but he was like, you cook them because I don't really know how to cook them. And I'm like, well, all you got to do is put them on the grill. So while he's out, I'm going to look up some YouTube videos and see how. I know they're the little cute lamb chops. I know you cook them quick, fast, but I do know that they have to be well seasoned. So I'm going to look that up, and I'm making lamb chops today. And that about wraps it up. That's just my Sunday chit chat with you guys. Like I said, the house is quiet. And even though I do have a house that's kind of big, when people are home, it's kind of hard to make content. But I could go upstairs to the flex room and do it. But, you got to have the right lighting and blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm getting away from my videos having to be perfect. I can't do that. It's just too stressful to stop and re-record. As Narc Free Living says, you're going to get what you get. And that's that, because that just puts a lot of pressure on us to be perfect, and nobody's perfect. Everybody is a human being. You're going to mispronounce words. You might, when you're talking about the word of God, you might say John 15 and you really meant Luke 17. We're going to do things that are not always picture perfect, and that's okay. What my thing is, I want to be authentic. I want to be who I am. Like, one thing about me, y'all know I love plants, but I like stuffed animals. I don't know why. I just like stuffed animals. And I know I have a tendency to OD. So in my new house, I have the teddy bear my husband gave me when my dog died. I have a teddy bear that my son gave me last Mother's Day. And I have my Hello Kitty. I like Hello Kitty. I have Hello Kitty dishes. I have Hello Kitty PJs. I got Hello Kitty jewelry. I'm a Hello Kitty girl. I think she's adorable. I like Hello Kitty. And somebody may be like, girl, you 50-something years old. What you talking about Hello Kitty? I just like her. And that is who I am. I'm being authentic. I like stuffed animals. I like Hello Kitty. I like plants. I like makeup. I like earrings. I'm just want to showcase more of my authentic side to you guys. And I like this chair. I don't know if you could really see it. You can't really see it, but it's really for my covered porch. But the pollen out is really bad right now, and we're kind of in a rainy season. So my husband said, don't put it out yet because you don't want it to get all messed up. So I might be sitting in here doing content. It's just, I'm trying to just be more free, because I didn't make this channel to be all bound up and acting like I'm something that I'm not. I'm a regular woman who loves Jesus, and that's just all to it. So if you like my content, you want to ride with me, ride. If I'm not your cup of tea, that's fine, because everybody don't like tea. I like coffee. So, it is what it is, but I want you guys to have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning into my channel, Mending Mahogany. If you like my content, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And thank you to all my new subscribers, because I'm telling you, I was like, I was having a hard time. Like, I'm not trying to monetize on here. That's not why I'm on social media. I am not trying to make money on here. That's just, I'm doing it because it's something that I always wanted to do. And I enjoy it. So I'm not trying to make money on here, but I kept saying, like, why can't I get over 500? Well, now I'm over 6. So thank you very much to all my new subbies and all the ones who have been with me from the beginning. I appreciate it because trust me, you could be watching any other thing on YouTube, but if you take the time to tune into some of my material, I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. This is Mending Mahogany. Bye-bye.